Tip 2. Be selective with quotes and evidence. Keep them short and effective. You might be confused by the sheer number of lines you can analyze and quote, but usually in an essay situation you can't cover them all. So, pick the best or most interesting example that you're most confident with. And remember, the best pieces of evidence are often the moments in which writer's craft shines through the most. Let's look at this extract from The Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver. Let's say we quoted this entire bit in one go for analysis. That's a lot. What could we say that applies to this entire passage? For techniques, we could say there's visual imagery about nature. There's figurative language. Overall, there's a sense of life and vitality, maybe. Almost an overabundance of it in a limited space. Animals and nature, all coexisting and interacting, or imitating each other. Now let's try and be more selective and subdivide the descriptions. What can we say about the trees are columns of slick, brindled bark? We could comment on columns. It's as if they're man-made structures meant to hold up buildings, and they suggest strength, order, and uniformity. We could talk about how it contrasts with slick, brindled bark, which brings us back into the disorder and variation of the natural world. It's almost like they're describing nature in human terms, and we can also think about why that is. The trees are like muscular animals overgrown beyond all reason. Well, first off, we could comment that this is a simile. It's comparing the visual image of twisting muscles or bodies that are capable of movement to immobile trees. Overgrown beyond all reason suggests that the growth is out of control, maybe even beyond our comprehension. Together, this presents the image of the forest itself as a herd of gigantic, writhing animals. If you're more selective, you can also pick and choose quotes from different sentences, out of order, according to the point that you're trying to prove. For example, poisonous frogs war painted like skeletons, and vines strangling their own kin uses simile and personification, respectively. And this depicts natural processes through human motivations. War and strangling kin suggests conflict and betrayal. It's like nature isn't acting out of instinct, but out of choice. The descriptions also introduce the prevalence of death amongst such vitality. Even though every space is filled with life, abundant life seems to come hand in hand with an equal amount of death. So, do you see how we got so much more analysis the second time? Paradoxically, if you quote too much, you'll actually kind of end up analyzing less. Too much content will have too much variation. You can only end up saying the most general things about it. If you quote less, you end up with more analysis content because you're forced to be more specific and to go into more depth with your analysis. This specificity then makes it much easier to link back to wider meaning, themes, and ideas without repeating yourself. So again, be selective with quotes and evidence. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.